Hey everybody, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another turn of Eldritch Horror as we continue our struggle against Shub-Niggurath. We have moved on to our second mystery. Yay! It involves fighting a monster, fighting goat spawns and spending clues. Unfortunately, we also have a horrible tentacly rumor, which involves fighting an epic monster and spending clues. So, we may have a little bit of a delay on working on the mystery, unless we can get some other people tooled up besides Wilson Richards, who is clearly our tank in this particular group, because he's got 4 strength and everybody else is at 2. Goat spawns aren't too bad, except you don't have to do a lot to them, but they are strength -2, so everybody else is at a serious disadvantage against it. Well, we'll see if we can deal with the rumor quickly. That will be tricky because it's going to move around the board following when the reckoning hits, it's going to move around the board following whichever location is next on the expedition deck. Well, we'll see what we can do. So we will start our action phase with we're going to start with Wilson Richards. Wilson is on the Egypt sideboard. We got to get him out of there because everything we need him to do is on the main board. So for his first action, he is going to move to space 17. Shows up here. For his second action, he's going to use his special ability to grab something from the reserve worth 1. He's going to grab this time-worn brand, +1 strength during combat encounters and 1 extra die during a combat encounter. This won't help against the epic monster we have to defeat for the rumor, as it's magical resistant. But it'll still be useful later on, and we may just hand it off to somebody. Plus, it does clear up a spot on the reserve, and maybe we'll get really good stuff showing up. So what do we have? Investment. What is it? Task. On a reckoning, your investment is paid off. You may discard this card to gain a funding condition. Could have used like some, I don't know, dynamite or something to really hammer a big critter. Well, we'll see what happens. So that is Wilson done. Now nearby, Lola Hayes. Okay, the first thing Lola is going to do, I have a slight plan here, is use the shining trapezohedron, which won't focus. As you can see, we can choose a monster, and on any space, roll a die. On a 5 or 6, we discard it. And on a 1 through 4, we move the monster to your space. I'm mostly worried about the Hound of Tindalos over in the Sahara Desert because on a reckoning, it just jumps to the nearest investigator and you have to fight it. So I figure here, we're either going to get rid of it or we will move it to the Himalayas, which means when it does activate, because we're going to put Lola on space 17 in a moment, the Hound will just move to space 17 where Wilson can actually fight it. Well, let's see, we may just be able to get rid of it if we're extremely lucky. So 5 or 6. 5. How about that? Boom. No more Hound of Tindalos to come teleporting after us. So, yay, good on Lola. And for her second action, she's going to move out of the Himalayas, also on space 17, because her other option to move is in Shanghai, where there's a deep one. Okay, Lola's done. Now it's time for Luke Robinson. Okay, Luke, we're trying to get over to the one gate we have open. See if he can do something with that. Won't get there this turn, but first action, he will move to Aaaargh, there. Then he gets free movement over any interconnected local paths, which will take him to Alexandria. And for his second action, he is going to just take a focus, which will help him close the gate, possibly. All right, that leaves us with Kate, who is still up in Tunguska. Okay, Kate, well, there's a nice clue nearby, so we're going to have her move one towards that clue, and she will also pick up a focus. Probably going to need clues when the reckoning, the unavoidable reckoning that will come up. The odds of a reckoning coming up are, well, 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 5 rather, which is not even odds, but still pretty high. And we're going to have to spend clues if that happens. Okay, that's everybody's actions. Now it's time for encounters. All right, Wilson is going to have a research encounter. This way, if he blows it, Lola has a chance of getting the clue as well, and we still have the clue. So we are on a city space. Okay. A midnight break-in at the museum has left several guards dead. Based on the descriptions of the stolen items, he tried to identify what was taken. That's an observation check. His observation is just 2. Okay, that's not good. For some reason, my camera just stopped recording during the rest of Wilson's turn, and all of Lola's. So I'm going to have to re-roll everything on camera again. We were rolling 2 dice for Wilson's observation. When I did this before, he got 2 successes, and of course now he's failed. Alright, we will just leave it then for Lola to have another go. Yeah. So she will have a completely different encounter than previously. So, okay, moving on to Lola. You are being hunted by Brother Tristram's knights. You keep an eye out for... Oh, wait, except there was a failure, wasn't there? Oh, no, wait. Okay, if Wilson didn't make the roll, nothing bad happened. You just didn't get the clue. Okay. Sorry about this. My camera's being wonky. You are being hunted by Brother Tristram's knights. You keep an eye out for anyone who could be working with the Order of Death's Head. So we're going to test her observation, which is also 2. And no, she's failed. Okay, means we're not going to have enough clues. Yeah, we're not going to have enough clues for the reckoning if it comes up, because we're going to use the silver key as a one-off clue, because I don't want something else bad to happen to Lola. Oh wait, no, we might get the clue. No, she failed. If you fail, they find you and take your notes by force. Lose 2 health and discard 2 clues. Well, she doesn't have any clues to discard. And she's down to 3 health. Too bad, because in the turns that didn't record, I did very well. Alright, that's it for Lola. We will now be moving on to Luke Robinson over in Alexandria. Alright, Luke is in Alexandria. Let's see what happens there. Come on, focus. Sorry, my camera's really being terrible tonight. You receive an invitation to a banquet. On the back, you find arcane writing. Gain 1 glamour spell. Oh, okay. Alright, so there's our spell deck. We'll give it a shuffle because I'm pretty sure it's our first time doing any... Okay, my camera just did it again. And it's not the battery. Alright, we are going to continue to look for a glamour spell. Okay, you found a glamour spell. Markings of Ice is gain +1. Oh, sorry. Here we are. Gain +1 to all skills. Yay! Once per round, when you re-roll 1 die, you may re-roll 1 die when resolving a test. And on Reckoning, we will test his lore -1 and flip the card. Now, what else happens? You may gain a haunted condition to accept the invitation and dine with the dead in the catacombs. If you gain the condition, you receive their gifts. Gain 1 tome unique asset. I think I'm going to pass. I'm happy enough having just gotten a glamour. Yeah, getting a pretty good glamour. +1 to all skills is nice. Alright, that is it for Luke. Now we're going to finish with Kate. Okay, maybe Kate can wring a clue out of this so we have enough to pay to have this thing not move. Alright, so 16 that is a city space. Alright. A noted scholar has been taken by the Order of the Death's Head. There they are again. But they are willing to release him if you agree to their terms. You may gain a Dark Pact condition to free him from their ritual. If you gain the condition, discard this clue and retreat doom by 1. Oh, Lord. No. Dark Pact is not worth it. Because she, in fact, could get just completely gobbled up when the Reckoning hits. It could be like instant death for her or someone else. So yeah, we're gonna have to just leave it be, unfortunately. Okay, that was a fairly miserable bunch of encounters. So yeah, that unfortunately leads us into the dreaded Mythos phase. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Reckoning. Although we have snowflakes again. We've been extremely lucky, except for the 1 tentacle card. Alright, first things first, we're going to advance the Omen track to the Green Omen. We only have 1 red gate on the board. Yeah, now the Reckoning. So, monsters first. The Dole. Right, we'll move 1 space towards the nearest investigator. Then everybody on the space or the next one gets hurt. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a tie, and unfortunately it's going to bring it to London, which is where our mystery is. Yay! Right, the deep one just hurts investigators on that space, so we're all right. Which leaves the only other monster with a reckoning is the Dark Young. We're going to roll, and on a 1 or 2, Doom is going to advance again. So let's see if we can be 3 for 3 on getting Doom. No, thank God. Did not happen a third time. Alright, next up is Shub-Niggurath. We will spawn a monster on a random space, and then if there are 10 or more monsters, we advance Doom by 2. Be okay there. So this will just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 6. So we will choose a random space first. The Bent Pyramid. Great, way over in Egypt. It's going to be very hard for our monster guide to do anything. And it's a Migu. Yeah, there's the stats. And discard the nearest clue on a reckoning and move the monster to that space. It's going to eat clues. Perfect. Alright, now... Yep. We have to do this. Advance Doom by 1. Unless investigators as a group spend clues equal to half the investigators 2. We only have 1. Unfortunately, I wasted the silver key, which would let us spend 1 less clue for an effect. So we are not going to be able to do it. If we do not do this, discard the top card of the expedition deck and move the crawling Chaos Epic monster to the next active expedition space. So, here it is. We're no longer... It's moved to Tokyo. Okay, that's alright. Yeah, it's going to move right there. Wilson can still get to it next turn. Alright. Okay, that's that. Now it's time for items and conditions. So, first thing, Wilson's our first player, so yes, he's going to have to fight for his wooden puppet again. Oh, his wooden puppet. I could have re-rolled 1 die earlier. Duh. Okay. Well, we're going to test his will -3. Or it's will -1 rather. He has 3. So we're going to 2. Didn't do it. Well, we're going to do his free focus. We're going to spend a focus, which once per round he gets back. And I should have used that when... Oh boy. I was not thinking on Wilson's turn. Alright, we're going to get to re-roll. Okay, succeeded that time, so we do not lose the wooden puppet. We don't have to give him up or lose the sanity. Lola has nothing with reckoning. Luke has his newly acquired markings of Isis glamour. We're going to test his will -1, though that'll be 3. However, he can re-roll 1 die because of the markings of Isis. And he's going to roll 3. 0 successes. So he's going to get to re-roll 1. That's a success. And actually, you know what? We're going to spend... If he closes that gate next turn, he'll get a focus back. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 of his focuses to re-roll another 1 to see if... No, okay. He's only going to get 1. I want to save the other glamour for... Or the other... focus in case he needs it to close the gate. So 1, The markings are a constant drain on your mind. Lose 1 sanity. Okay, that puts him to 5 sanity. That's not too bad. And then, right, Kate's promise of power. We're going to roll a die, and on a 6, we get whatever's on the other side. Could we possibly be so lucky? Nope, got a 4. Okay, that is it for the reckoning effects. Now, we will spawn a gate. Which is unfortunately going to put us up to 7 monsters. Anyway, the next one is in Sydney, which now no longer has the epic monster on it, so somebody can safely get there to try to close it. And what horrors spawn? It's a flying polyp. Yay. Which, as you can see, is kind of tough. On a reckoning, move this monster to the nearest space containing a gate. Well, if we don't close that gate, that's where it's going to stay. Okay, now, at the end of the ordeal, you have been left on your back, uncertain if you are lucky to be alive or simply doomed to survive. Did we make it? Event. Each investigator rolls 1 die and resolves the matching effect. Alright, so we will start with our lead, Wilson. He rolled 2. He gains a Bane condition. Okay, this is where everything starts to go very, very poorly. Yep, he's cursed. Horrible red dice for Wilson. Next up, we have Lola, who rolled a 1. So she's going to get a Bane as well. And also cursed. Luke, 4. Okay, he gets a clue. Thank God nothing terrible happened to Luke. And finally, Kate. 4, she also gets a clue. So we'll grab another one for her. Well, that's the end of that. That was a pretty terrible turn. Would have been better if my camera hadn't just spontaneously decided to fail. And I had to redo several rolls, which suddenly weren't good rolls anymore. Aaaargh. Alright, well, we'll see if we can salvage things next turn. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and liking the videos on YouTube and Board Game Geek. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time for yet another turn of Eldritch Horror. So long.